From First Alert 7 News, with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching Wake Up West Texas.
Extra, good morning to you, and thank you so much for waking up with us on this Thursday, but we like to call it here Friday Eve, and we're here now with meteorologist Ethan Yost, filling in for meteorologist Sawyer McElroy here on Extra.
Yes.
Ethan, a big extra welcome to you.
Good, thank you I'm glad to be here. Good morning, everybody at home. Glad you can join us.
Yes, as you can see, he is the Yost with the most. We're so glad to have you with us this morning. We want to let the viewers in on that nickname we have.
That's awesome. Fantastic.
So, starting off this morning, this is our show. We're digital. It's our first week. We're on our fourth show ever.
Yeah.
Where we kind of take the news, take a look back, and then reflect on it with our own, perspective on things, and get an in-depth look also at the forecast. We'll get to in just a few minutes, of course. But we want to remind you to take us with you wherever you go. You can download us you download our app, I should say, on your connected TV, phone, or tablet. Start your mornings with Wake Up West Texas from 5 to 7, and then Wake Up West Texas Extra from 7 to 9 every weekday morning. You can also watch us live on the First Alert 7 Facebook page and YouTube channel. Speaking of, I didn't pull up the Facebook Live. Let me get my phone going so I can see if there's any comments coming in as we start off this morning. Please welcome Ethan, by the way, in the comments section. His first Extra.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. This is going to be a different change of pace because we can kind of, be more conversational and, talk to our viewers in a comment section and be more interactive. So I like it.
Chris Kavanaugh says good morning.
Good morning to you as well.
Very nice to have you.
Beautiful Thursday today.
It is a nice Thursday. I was trying to say. I have some tea with me this morning. Talking for 4 hours straight can do bad things to the vocal cords, that is for sure. But starting off this morning, like we talked about, Chris, by the way, thanks for tuning in every morning. It's good to have you with us here. We have a few polls lined up. So we poll our viewers. It's called West Texas Weighs In.
Okay.
The biggest poll, I think, of the entire week that we're going to run tomorrow as well. Who do you think will win in the Super Bowl? And that can be a whole question, a very loaded question. Well, look at that. We already have people voting. Jacob Brandenburg was one of those, by the way. Seattle Seahawks versus New England Patriots. That is Super Bowl 60 this Sunday, 75-25 over the Patriots. Both of these teams have had great histories with the Super Bowl in years past, especially the Patriots, as you know, with Tom Brady and, Bill Belichick and that crew back in the day. So it's been some time. But
I would say that's a loaded question for myself, especially because I'm just not very in tune with football, unfortunately.
I'm not either.
So if I were to pick, it would be just a blind decision at this point.
I agree. I mean, totally. I'm the same way. I'm not even from West Texas. I'm a native of West Texas, and I'm just never been into the football myself. Baseball, yes. I do enjoy baseball.
All my close friends are into football. I'm just kind of like that lone wolf who
never really got into it.
I got into it a little bit when I was young, I would say, but today, not so much. I like to play sports and I like to watch them, if you know what I mean. Yeah,
I know what you mean. Look at this question. This one is, what was your favorite stage of school, elementary, middle, or high school? Now, I had great memories throughout my entire school career.
Oh, yeah, me too.
But high school, I feel like I really, I made friends and also did things that prepared me for my career. So it was a lot of fun. I did newspaper, I did audio video production. You were able to make better relationships, I think, with your teachers as well, because you're getting older. You can appreciate what they did to help you.
Oh, yes.
And I know I can, especially even to this day. And so I voted high school, and I think most people will. But what about you? I'm curious.
I also voted high school, and the reason for that is just because of the actual involvement that I had in high school. Like, I was more involved in sports. Like, for instance, I played soccer in high school, so that was a big team building part of my high school career. And then, of course, I built a lot of my lifelong friends, that I'm still friends with today. Started that relationship in high school, so carrying those relationships through my life, and also had a lot of inspiring teachers that still influence my decision making today. So that's kind of why I chose that.
That's awesome. And of course, we want you to weigh in on this as well. Download our app. You can go to the vote tab. You can also scan that QR code or go to firstalert7.com/vote to weigh in on this. So we have a couple comments coming in. Meteorologist Sawyer McElroy, who is supposed to be off today and not watching the news here. If you're
Sawyer.
You might as well come in and join the show, Sawyer. You have 2 hours, by the way, so come on in. She says, go Seahawks. So we know her take on that. And she voted middle school. Well, that's an interesting take.
Middle school.
I would guess
I'd like to know why.
Me too. I would like to know why. Feel free to drop that in the comments, Sawyer. I'm curious. Or you can zoom in or let us know what you're doing from home. And she said should have been the Broncos. As you know, she's a Denver Broncos fan.
Yeah, that's right.
They just missed it. So unfortunately, not this year in the Super Bowl. And Marilyn Smith says, welcome to WWT Extra.
Happy to be here. It's awesome.
And glad to have you with us, of course. Now, I'm curious, as we look live outside this morning over the skies of, let's see where, Odessa, how the rest of our day is shaping up. I'm kind of curious. We can take a tour of different parts of West Texas, but it looks like a nice start to the day so far. It is a bit chilly. I had to bundle up this morning.
Yeah, it looks like even with the big warm-up that's expected, we are going to see chilly conditions to start the morning still over the next couple days. And right now we are in the 30s, so it's a chilly start right around freezing across most locations. So I would recommend that you grab a jacket on your way out. But as you can see, it is a cloudless sky out there. So it's going to help warm us up pretty quickly this afternoon. Really area-wide, we'll be up into the 60s for most locations. So,
that's nice. That's
yeah,
going to be really nice.
It's going to be very nice. I'm looking forward to it, especially compared to, what we have been seeing recently. Because back just a couple days ago, not really a couple days, probably about a week now, we were down into the single digits in some areas.
Gosh.
It was now almost 2 weeks, but yeah,
it feels like it was last week.
I know, it feels time has flown by.
The week went, especially for you, I mean, the week continued on long after the weekend was over with. We had a long week for sure. We did have a good time. I mean, when we were here, we were covering the weather. You went out a few times during our winter weather cut-ins. That was a good, interesting experience, I'm sure. You're used to that kind of weather being from up north.
And that's the thing, though, is that even though I am used to the weather, it was still, difficult being out in that chilly conditions. Like, as we were messaging, like it just took 15, 20 minutes of exposed skin out in those temperatures for frostbite and hypothermia, stuff like that. So it's definitely a lot nicer going into this weekend. So it's time to actually get outside, enjoy the weather, maybe even some grill a little bit for Sunday.
That will be nice. Super Bowl Sunday at least turning out to be very, very nice coming up later this weekend like you have in your forecast. Sawyer has a bit more of an explanation. While you have your stuff set up here, I'll read that. Sawyer says middle school because it was kind of for the same reasons as you guys with high school. She had a lot of good experiences, good teachers, was in all the extracurriculars. She did Trojan News. That was the name. Oh, okay. So she was in a news program in middle school.
Nice.
I didn't have that opportunity in middle school. We had it in high school.
Either.
I shall make my exit now. Okay, yes. Enjoy your day off, Sawyer.
Yes, exactly.
She's tuning into work. Ethan and I have it handled here on Extra this morning. But like we said, the forecast not looking too bad whatsoever for the rest of our day and also our week.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Big warming trend on the way. We'll start now with the big picture this afternoon, or excuse me, this morning. We're still in the morning,
it feels like
Matthew.
That. Yes.
It's been a long morning, but weather makers right now, we have this big area of high pressure off to our west. And as always, we always talk about high pressure building in, and what that does is it brings warmer conditions. So we have a big warm front expected to push through the region overnight tonight. It's going to influence really a good portion of the state of Texas going up in the next couple of days. But there are those forecast highs going into this afternoon. We'll be in the mid to upper 60s across the Permian Basin, 66 for Odessa, 67 for Midland, touching 70 there for Fort Stockton and Sanderson. Wouldn't be surprised if they exceed that. And a cloudless sky all afternoon as high pressure is in control. Cool overnight on the way, but the good news is that we'll be above freezing from many locations, generally mid to upper 30s across the Permian Basin overnight tonight. But again, that warming trend does not stop there. Look at these numbers all the way through Wednesday next week, low to mid 70s highs in the forecast. We'll start to cool off a little bit second half of next week into the weekend, but still right above average for this time of the year, especially going into this coming weekend. Now, we just have slight rain chances in the forecast coming up on your Monday and your Tuesday. Only about a 20 to 30% chance as of now, so nothing terribly meaningful is expected. But we haven't seen any rain since, really precipitation since that winter storm that we saw. But if any precipitation does fall, it will just be rain going into this time frame.
I'm going to say that's good. We like to have rainfall compared to what we could have been seeing with ice and snowfall prior to that, of course. So fingers crossed we do add to the rain bucket heading into early next week. Ethan, thank you very much for a look at that forecast. But now, a look at your morning extra headlines you need to know to start your day on this Thursday, February 5th. We'll begin tracking crime in Terrell County, where a traffic stop uncovered a human smuggling attempt. Sheriff Thaddeus Cleveland saying that the arrest happened on Tuesday. Here are some pictures the sheriff shared with us from the traffic stop. Sheriff says the driver is being charged with smuggling of persons. That person being smuggled was turned over to the Sanderson Border Patrol agents. A man alleged of stealing a package from a doorstep was caught on camera in Midland. We like to call these porch pirates. He was caught on this doorbell camera. He walked up to this home on Siesta Lane near Garfield, got the package. He even wiped his fingerprint from the doorbell. He actually rang the doorbell to see if anybody was home. The homeowner got home, saw the package was gone, reported it to police, and now they're looking for this person here. So if you know who this is, reach out to Midland Crime Stoppers at 694-8477. It could be a cash reward, by the way. Also in Midland, Crime Stoppers say U.S. Marshal Service looking for this man, 39-year-old Giorgio DeJohn Hayden. He's wanted for a parole violation. If you know where he is, call Crime Stoppers. That is 694-TIPS. The first tip that leads to his arrest also eligible for a cash reward. Now, a traffic alert that could impact your commute this morning along Neely Avenue in Midland. They'll be closed today for utility work. This is going to be between two different roads. It's going to be between Midland Drive and McDonald Street, just west of Rusk Elementary School and Midland Legacy. Now to your first alert on some park closures happening across the city of Odessa today and into the weekend. The city announcing that Lawndale Park on the north side and Murray Fly Park will be closed for turf repair work. The park will reopen Friday morning, that is tomorrow. But we're not done there. Crump Park and Salinas Park, those repairs are being planned for tomorrow, with the reopening of those parks being Saturday morning. Midland ISD, meanwhile, has said that students allegedly have a planned protest for tomorrow. The district issuing this statement saying, quote, while Midland ISD respects students' rights to express their perspectives, disruptions to the instructional environment will not be tolerated. Ensuring student safety and maintaining a focused learning environment remains the district's top priority, end quote. Now, the school district is encouraging students to stay in class because leaving campus, they say, without permission violates the student code of conduct and will result in an absence. Any disruptions of safety or concerns will face disciplinary action. For the full statement, head over to firstalert7.com. Over in XTRA County ISD, much lighter news. Their 8th grade students all gathered for their 8th grade fair yesterday. This fair is to help with their transition from 8th grade to high school. The 8th grade fair teaches students about the different programs, electives, and extracurricular activities available to them. The fair had over 100 booth students that could visit. The goal is to help incoming freshmen and their families prepare to build a high school schedule.
So 8th graders are asked to choose a program or a course of study while they're in high school. And so we want to give them every opportunity to explore what their choices are and what they're choosing so that they know exactly what they will be doing in those classes or in those programs.
The fair had a student mariachi band on hand, as well as the robotics class that drove around some of their robots. And early education teachers brought out robot babies that their students could take care of every year. Odessa College was also at the fair to talk about its dual credit program for high school students. It's the 4th year that the event has been held, and ECISD finds it to be very helpful resources for students to be able to get into their first year of high school successfully. And that was your morning extra for this Thursday. You can find all the latest news, weather, and sports by logging on to firstalert7.com, our mobile news app, or by following the First Alert 7 Facebook page. The time is 7:12 this morning. Let's take a live look outside over the skies of Odessa. Meteorologist Ethan Yost will rejoin us with an in-depth look at your First Alert forecast next on Wake Up West Texas Extra. And a reminder to take us with you wherever you go. Download our app on your TV, phone, or tablet.
Now, from the First Alert 7 Weather Center, here's meteorologist Ethan Yost.
Well, good morning, everybody. It is a cool start to your Thursday morning, but we are looking at a warm-up on the way this afternoon, especially as we head towards the weekend. Let's start with a live eye cam over Odessa, where we're seeing clear skies. The sun is on the rise. And we'll switch over to Midland, where we're seeing a nice sunrise on the horizon, orange skies, and no clouds in sight. And now we'll go down to Fort Stockton, where we're also seeing a beautiful sunrise this morning. Also a clear sky there. And then we'll head over to Big Spring, also a beautiful sunrise in the background. And temperatures this morning, again, right around the 33-degree range across the Midland-Odessa area. So let's get a look ahead now at your current temperatures this morning. Those temperatures ranging again from the low 30s to the upper 30s, even some 40s out there this morning. But again, with the help of plenty of sunshine and also southwest wind throughout the afternoon, temperatures will warm into the 60s by the afternoon under a sunny sky. Warming trend continues Friday and into the weekend. Highs back to the 70s, even touching 80 along the Pecos River Valley on Saturday afternoon. And this weather pattern is all being sponsored by this big ridge of high pressure in the upper levels. And what that means is that it's trapping a lot of warm air in that area. And as that drifts off to the east and starts to influence West Texas, we'll start to see warmer conditions. We'll also see a surface warm front move through, so that's going to help conditions even more. But with high pressure in control, we have a dry air mass in place. So plenty of sunshine out there, just a couple high-level clouds moving in across the Rio Grande River, but we're going to stay this way throughout the entire day today. Continue to see warm conditions throughout the next 10 days, because look at these numbers. Low to mid-70s from tomorrow all the way through next Thursday, so a 6-day time frame in the 70s in the beginning of February, so quite warm for this time of the year. But again, with also high pressure in control, where again, we're going to continue to maintain a sunny sky. Here's lunchtime. That'll carry us through the evening commute as well. Notice those high-level clouds off to the southwest. That is the next warm front that's going to move to the northeast throughout tonight. That'll set the stage for an even warmer afternoon on your Friday highs in the low to mid-70s going through the end of the work week. So for the rest of today, here are those highs. We'll be into the low to mid-60s, even upper 60s for some spots. 66 for Odessa, 67 for Midland. So near 70 there for Sanderson and Fort Stockton. And then overnight tonight, we drop down to a light freeze for some locations, but actually most of us above freezing. 38 for Odessa, 37 for Midland under a clear sky. Looking ahead to your First Alert 7 10-day forecast, we'll be up to the 70s on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Introducing some slight rain chances Monday and Tuesday, but only about a 20 to 30% chance, but still highs in the 70s through even that time frame. I don't think we get out of the 70s till the end of next week.
Which is really nice to hear. A nice pattern change compared to what we had been seeing.
Oh, 100%.
And this is well above average, like you talked about, not only in the highs, but the lows as well.
Yeah, I mean, you notice the low there for Sunday nights, 49, nearly 50 degrees. I mean, we were seeing daytime highs cooler than that just a couple
Right.
days ago.
It's a good perspective, yes.
It's going to be quite nice. You may actually be able to not have a jacket all day for some periods of the weekend.
It's going to be nice to go out for a run, go out for a walk. A lot of those parks in Odessa are going to be reopening for today and also tomorrow and Saturday morning as well, to be able to go back to some of those parks, Lawndale Park, Salinas Park, and other park, Murray Fly as well. In Odessa, but also we have Centennial Park in Midland to join in as well. Julie, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. She's commenting on Facebook Live, wishing all a wonderful day, she says. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Glad to have you with us on this Thursday. Starting off this morning, feeling really good out there. Like we said, bundling up this morning, warming up a lot nicer later on today, and that will continue through the weekend. As we get into Super Bowl Sunday, we're very excited for the big game this weekend. A lot of plans, a lot of folks going to be gathering. As well. We're going to have a Wake Up West Texas gathering as well to watch the game.
That's right.
At least as long as I can. I got to go to bed at some point Sunday
That's
into
true.
Monday. Monday after the Super Bowl, notoriously known as being the day that most people call in for out of the entire year.
Is that right?
Yes. So most employers don't expect a lot of their workers to show up come Monday. They'll come sick. I was up late.
I mean, that makes total sense.
Right. So
not going to be one of those.
I was going to say, no. And you're working late that night too, huh?
Yeah.
Sunday night, so into Monday as well. All right, well, look at this story. Very interesting. The XTRA County Medical Examiner's Office had their busiest year in their 30-year history, handling more than 1,000 cases. And I feel like people don't know what a medical examiner is. A medical examiner sounds like a doctor.
Yeah, it does.
But in reality, they go and investigate deaths, especially unattended deaths. So First Alert 7 Sierra Burnett tells us what's behind this record number and what it says about our community in particular. Take a look.
The role of the medical examiner's office is mandated by Texas state law. In Ector County, they investigate unattended, unexpected, and suspicious deaths, including homicides, suicides, and more. The goal of the office is to determine the cause and manner of death.
We investigate all types of death. The most common that we do investigate is deaths that are determined to be related to natural causes.
In 2025 alone, they reported 1,088 cases, their highest since 2019 when they reported 1,052. According to Rogers, the average number of cases is between 800 to 900, and the main reason for the increase in cases is the population.
That causes continual increase in traffic on the streets. It brings all types of people to this area of Texas for various types of work.
Last year, the Ector County Medical Examiner's Office worked about 45 traffic-related fatalities, 10 homicides, 17 suicides, and 20 overdoses. Every case is different. However, the process of every investigation remains the same. Ector County has 6 investigators that work hand in hand with law enforcement, and in some cases, the fire department.
Probably about half or a little more than half of those actually required an investigator response to a scene to conduct those investigations.
The Ector County Medical Examiner's Office operates 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
We have somebody that is on duty throughout that entire period of time, and they're available whether it's 2:30 in the morning or 2:30 in the afternoon. They're available to respond to whatever scenes that we're requested to by law enforcement.
The Ector County Medical Examiner's Office says do not hesitate to contact them in any situation. Reporting for First Alert 7 News, I'm Sierra Burnett.
Very fascinating that they're able to reach a record. And I was surprised because during COVID, we had so many deaths at that point. It even broke that record. So really fascinating stuff. Something to know, he had a Grim Reaper in his background there.
No, yeah, that was funny.
It kind of goes with the theme that they talk about, of course, with the medical examiner's office. They're always really interesting to work with. It's a fascinating field. I've seen so many TikTokers who are medical examiners or work in the death industry because it's something you really don't think about or want to think about very often.
No, yeah, I mean, like, it's probably not for everybody, but it is an interesting profession
for sure,
to say, the least.
And necessary too. I mean,
it is 100% necessary
for investigations too. So much lighter news in regards to a church in Odessa. They marked their 70th anniversary. They were opened in 1956 at St. John's Episcopal School. And this week, the school celebrated their 70th anniversary with a ribbon-cutting ceremony.
How nice.
First Alert 7's Lauren Munt was there and spoke with the head of the school about how they're celebrating their 7 decades of excellence.
Good morning, Nova.
For the last 70 years, students have filled the halls of St. John's.
And when our students leave St. John's, people love to get our students because of the respect that they have for others, for their community. And that's what we teach.
Miss Heather Kirk is the head of school.
Well, this is one of my favorites, which is kindergarten. And it's Kandinsky. So they do a phenomenal job with that.
It's a position she's held for the last 5 years.
And it's a little daunting being one of 7. But I believe that God has placed me here for a reason.
And even though she's fairly new to the role, she's no stranger to the school's family, teaching here for over 22 years.
And so when those students walk through the halls, I know them. I know their families. And therefore, we're just a bigger family.
Which diagraph goes in front of these letters to make a word?
TH.
What is TH when you put it together?
Now, we're a typical school. We still have stuff that goes, we're not perfect by any means, but we are imperfect people who love a school.
A school that's going to be around for another 70.
We are St. John's. We will stay who we are. We will stay a family. We will have that love for each other. But I want more people to experience that.
Reporting at St. John's, Lauren Munt, First Alert 7 News.
Isn't that a great story? Love to see inside the school. You rarely get to see a lot like in the classrooms and how the head of the school gets to interact with the students directly. And you really got to see them this story.
No, yeah, and it's a great story because of just how long they've been a part of the community.
Yes, 70 years, 7 decades. They have put in a time capsule as part of this story. They're going to open it up in 30 years. So
30 years.
30 years from now. 100th anniversary. They're going to be opening up a time capsule, seeing what the future will look like in 2055.
Oh, how
56.
nice. That's going to be quite the interesting event to take. I've never done anything like that, time capsule things, but those are always quite the interesting, tradition, I guess you could say.
To look back, it gives you some perspective for sure as well. Lauren was telling me that during the filming of the story that the head of the school that she talked to would just barge into the classroom and say, "Good morning, everybody," and everybody they get up and greet her immediately. So she's well liked. She's been a part of the school's history for more than 2 decades now herself.
Oh, really?
Out of that 70-year history, so she's a big part of that, and we're glad to have seen a part of her story too.
Oh yeah,
really
that's
nice.
Fantastic.
And by the way, we're now going to get closer into our news and weather update for our CBS viewers on First Alert 7. So we're going to take a moment here from Wake Up West Texas Extra to give them a quick news and weather update. On this Thursday, Friday Eve, we have a lot to talk about in the way of news, but also weather as well with Ethan Yost filling in for meteorologist Sora McRoy. So stay with us right here, streaming live on Wake Up West Texas Extra on Facebook, YouTube, and firstalert7.com. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
From First Alert 7 News, this is a Wake Up West Texas news and weather update.
Good morning, everyone. Time now is 7:26. I'm Matthew Alvarez here alongside meteorologist Ethan Yost with a look outside. Ethan, good morning.
Good morning to you as well, Matthew. It is a cool start to the day. So let's get a little update on your weather forecast, starting with the big picture this morning on our Weather Maker's map. And the big weather maker going in the next couple days is the area of high pressure off to the west here. You can see that big ridge in the upper levels springing here across the Intermountain West. And as that drifts off to the east, that's going to start influencing our pattern and bring for a warm up. With high pressure in control, that means dry air masses in place. So plenty of sunshine out there across the entire state. And that's also going to make for a warm afternoon. Here are those forecast highs across the Midland Odessa area, 66 and 67 relatively. And then also near 70, Fort Stockton and Sanderson, so not too bad. Overnight tonight, above freezing, so that's the good news for those overnight lows under a clear sky. Now looking ahead at your First Alert 7 10-day forecast. Today we're looking at a high in the mid to upper 60s. Friday up to the low to mid 70s. And we'll continue to see that warming into Saturday, maintaining a mostly sunny to partly cloudy sky. Adding mostly cloudy skies to the forecast on Sunday, but still in the 70s. Monday and Tuesday will introduce some slight rain chances. But right now, chances are only about a 20 to 30% chance. And what is certain is that any precipitation that does fall will be rain. So that's the good news. And even with the rain showers, highs will still be in the 70s in that time frame. So for any warm weather lovers, this is going to be a nice forecast. This is going to be warm and dry through at least the next 6 to 7 days in our forecast.
All right, Ethan, thank you very much. We'll begin tracking crime in Terrell County this morning, where a traffic stop uncovered a human smuggling attempt. Sheriff Thaddeus Cleveland says that the arrest happened on Tuesday. Here are some pictures the sheriff shared with us from this traffic stop. The sheriff saying the driver is being charged with smuggling of persons. The person being charged with smuggling was turned over to Sanderson Border Patrol agents. And a man alleged of stealing a package from a doorstep in Midland was caught on doorbell camera. Officials say he was wanted for the theft of that package, where he walked up to a home on Siesta Lane near Garfield, stole that package after ringing the doorbell and wiping his fingerprints off of it. The owner got home and realized her package was stolen. If you recognize this man, you're asked to reach out to Midland Crime Stoppers at 694-8477. Also in Midland, Crime Stoppers need your help in finding this man. The U.S. Marshals Service looking for 39-year-old Giorgio DeJohn Hayden, wanted for a parole violation. If you know where he is, again, that same number, 694-8477. And we'll be back in another half an hour for another check of your news and weather. Join us live for Wake Up West Texas Extra, streaming now on Facebook, YouTube, and firstalert7.com. Make it a great Thursday.
From First Alert 7 News, with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching Wake Up West Texas.
Extra, good morning, half past the hour, 7:31 on this Thursday, Friday Eve. I'm here with meteorologist Ethan Yost, filling in for Sawyer McRoy on this Thursday. Good to have you with us. Glad to make your Wake Up West Texas Extra debut today.
Glad to be here, and good morning to you as well.
So starting off this morning, we're going to be talking about several different polls where we're asking West Texans to weigh in. One of those, of course, being what your favorite stage of school was. We talked about that a little bit earlier. The question was spurred because we had that story about 8th grade fair in XTRA County ISD. They gathered a bunch of 8th graders who were about to make the transition to high school. ECISD, probably almost 10 years ago now, switched from a junior high model to a fresh middle school model. Midland is now the last, I think, almost in the entire state that is still in a junior high platform. So 8th graders, 9th graders are still at the middle school campuses, the junior high campuses, and high schools are 10th, 11th, and 12th.
Interesting. See, back at home, it was, the classic 9th grade is when you go into high school. So what's the motivation there? Do you know exactly?
I guess just to be more in line with the rest of the state. Odessa and Midland were one of the few left. At least when I was in school, Odessa moved away from that my last year of high school. So this was 2016. That's when they went to the middle school model. So then Crockett Junior High became Crockett Middle School, and so on and so forth. Midland is now going, I believe, in their last 2 school years as a junior high model campus, but I'm not sure the exact reason why. It makes sense though, because then they move freshmen who are actual freshmen out of the junior highs and into high schools, and then 6th graders who are actually middle schoolers up from the elementary schools, because 6th grade is in elementary right now here in Midland, up to the middle school. So that was one interesting thing. I went to the 6th grade in elementary, and I went to 9th grade in junior high. So
yeah, so even for me in middle school, it was just 7th and 8th for me.
The only 2 were middle school,
7th and 8th were middle school for me.
Which most everyone else is now. And so when Midland switches over, they'll be along with the entire state of Texas as well. A reminder for you, take us with you wherever you go. Grocery store, you can set us up in the basket there. At work, on your desk, we're with you everywhere because we're streaming live on our website, firstalert7.com, our mobile news app as well. But you can also download the First Alert 7 app on your connected TV or your phone, your tablet, you name it. Start your mornings with Wake Up West Texas from 5 to 7 on your TV. And then when you head out the door, join Wake Up West Texas Extra from 7 to 9 every weekday morning. The best part of this show is we can interact with you. The comment section is here. We're watching it. Ask questions. Let us know what you think. Watch us live on the First Alert 7 Facebook page and YouTube channel every single morning. But now let's take a live look outside over the skies of Big Spring. The hotel settles looking really nice out there as the sun slowly begins to rise over that part of the area.
It does look very nice, and crystal blue skies are going to filter in through the afternoon, so I don't think we're going to see a cloud in sight all day.
Nice. Okay, so it's going to be a nice blue sky day, not looking too bad whatsoever over that part of the area. I have to say, this camera is on top of Scenic Mountain Medical Center, higher part of where Big Spring is, looking down into it. And I think it's one of my favorite cameras when we have it, just because of the perspective I think it gives over the entirety of that part of the Permian Basin, because it feels like the second you get past Stanton on Interstate 20, it changes. Something changes in just the whole area there. Everything starts lifting a little bit higher. There's more hills.
Right along the Cap Rock.
Yes, right along the Cap Rock there, where things begin to change a little bit more. And they do have their nice big spring there, hence the name of the town. So pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a very beautiful morning. We can also go around to some other iCams this morning. And going here to Midland, also a nice sunset out there, or excuse me, sunrise, and also clear skies this morning. So we're going to continue to go around. Here is the Odessa iCam this morning, facing also a great sunrise out there. And then we'll go to Fort Stockton, also a fantastic sunrise out there.
That one's also a big favorite. The plateau in the distance, I mean, that looks fantastic there, or the mesa.
But a cool start to the morning, so make sure you grab your jacket on your way out this morning. But warm afternoon is on the way, so that's the good news.
That is good. I'm glad to hear that, because, I mean, after the end of January, it really shocked me with this winter wallop that not only affected Texas, but the thing about that winter storm is it spread from Texas all the way up to the eastern seaboard.
Yeah, I mean, I think what the actual measurement is there was over 2,000 miles in a straight line across the country that was actually being affected by this winter storm that went through. So it wasn't just an isolated event here in West Texas. We weren't the only one who got it. And actually, we kind of got spared, if you will.
I think so, too, because some of the models were scary.
Yeah, and, I mean, the most impactful stuff actually happened well off to the east in, the Mid-South, like the big ice storm in Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi. That was catastrophic. There was trees, broken all over the ground, snapped from the extreme cold, ice secretions on power lines, knocked people's power outages out.
For
And then-
days, yes.
and I think there's still some people dealing with that in isolated spots.
I wouldn't be surprised, especially
And,
in those hard-hit areas.
And that extreme cold too. I mean, it was just not a good combination.
No. So yeah, right. We didn't get the brunt of it, thank goodness, because after Snowmageddon 2021 brings back those bad
yes.
memories where the entire state of Texas was under a sheet of ice for a full week, over a week, after multiple winter storms passed on through. So they were drawing a lot of comparisons to that. And I think that was obviously inappropriate for that storm because it turned out to be not too bad here. And it was just a big, wide storm. That's what I'm trying to say. Very widespread.
Yeah,
that's the term I'm looking for.
It was big on scale, like big on scale.
Yes.
The actual impacts for us, though, I mean, I still think, like, for West Texas standards, it was still a
Pretty
decent
significant
event.
Yes, a memorable storm.
Like, it's not something you see every year,
No,
right? Like,
no,
I'm
definitely
not from
not.
here, but I mean, I'm pretty
We make it a
accustomed with the weather.
dusting
Yeah.
every other year, even. But even then, I don't think we had snow the past couple of years.
And
I think
since I've
23.
been here, there's been 3 winter events here. Like, since I've been here.
The December 28th winter,
Yeah.
1 inch of snow.
Yeah,
which
we
was
had
kind
1
of
inch of
unusual.
snow there, and then, well, technically, if you include, there was a little bit of winter precipitation in the mountains a couple weeks ago before.
That's right. Yes.
That happened. So we've had 4 true winter events since I've been here. So I feel like it's pretty abnormal, pretty active winter so far.
Have you ever gone skiing before?
I have not, but I want to.
That's something on it. I think I'm going to stay away after watching this video. Look at this. Video shows skiers rescued from malfunctioning gondolas in the Adirondack Mountains. Over 60 skiers got stuck on the gondola on Gore Mountain in upstate New York Wednesday morning. 60 skiers. That is multiple gondolas that all got stuck on this track. And look at this, how they have to rescue them. Because how else would you do it?
Oh, I know. Because so they couldn't get it back on.
They couldn't get it back on. They had to go one by one.
Oh, that had to have taken forever. And you must have been, kind of scared as well. You don't know what's going to happen. up
Yeah,
there.
because
Why it
it's
stopped.
stopped. You're stuck there up in the air about 30 feet. The good news is, what I'm drawing, finding the silver lining in this, is it's not the kind of the chair lifts. They're inside at least an enclosed space.
It makes it a little more more
Bearable.
confident.
Sure.
In, the structure of it. But yeah.
Terrifying. I saw this video and I was like, I have to share this. I mean, terrifying.
I will say, even though I haven't gone skiing, this is not going to deter me because I still think, the idea of skiing sounds fun.
It sounds fun.
Have you ever done it yourself?
No, I've done tubing on at Winter Park in Ruidoso, New Mexico. You're probably familiar. You're like, well, that's not really tubing, but they have fake snow machines and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean,
but there is Ski Apache in Ruidoso, New Mexico as well. That's where a lot of West Texans go on vacation and enjoy time there. So that's an option to ski if you ever would like to go. That's my recommendation, to Ski Apache. Here it's great. Very high elevation area there. There's a hotel nearby, so it's got good access as well to roads and highways. And it's a beautiful part of New Mexico that's really in our own backyard.
Oh, yeah. And I would say, it's like 4 hours away?
4 hours away, exactly.
Okay.
Yep, exactly right about that.
Not too bad then.
No, not at all. Really, it's kind of like our viewing area, but just towards the west. So we're just outside of that viewing area. They're covered by El Paso, but even our own viewing area is almost 4 hours down south. So we have a very large area to cover. But yes, nothing like that hopefully will happen because that was something scary for those skiers. Nobody was injured, by the way.
Thank God for that.
Good news. Look at this. Lego and Crocs have announced a multi-year partnership. They say pairs Crocs' bold spirit with the Lego Group's boundless imagination. In celebration of their partnership, they have created Lego brick clogs. That's what the shoes are called. It's like the type of shoe. It's inspired by the iconic Lego brick shape and constructed with the same material Croc lovers have come to know, which is like rubber, essentially. Retailing for $150. Each oversized pair features 4 studs stamped with the Lego logo. Iconic. A pivotal heel strap for a more secure fit and sport mode, and a faux anti-stud sole. The clogs are also accompanied by a Lego minifigure with 4 pairs of its own miniature Croc shoes, allowing customers to embrace the playfulness. The Lego brick clog will be available globally starting Monday, February 16th, President's Day, via Crocs and at lego.com/Crocs.
Well, get out there, Lego lovers. It looks like something to add to your collection.
I think so. I like that. I guess it's only in red for people. I saw there was different colors for the toy.
Okay.
So I wonder if it's just red for the humans.
I mean, those just look absolutely like clown shoes. I feel like
They
I'd
look
be
like clown
walking
shoes. That's a
around-
very good way to put it, especially when this person's wearing them.
No, yeah.
Huge.
Hey, but again, I would say it's more for of a collecting standpoint and like a fashion, I feel like someone could easily now dress up as a Lego character for Halloween now perfectly with that sort of.
That's a good one. Or a Roblox character. A lot of kids are into that right now. That's a good point.
It's a bit on the pricey side, though.
$150. I don't even pay that for regular shoes.
Yeah, I don't think I've spent that much on a pair of shoes in a bit.
That's not great. But if that's your thing, you're a Lego lover, also a Crocs lover. There's your pair. Maybe just save up for it, and hey, they'll last you quite some time. Crocs last a while. From what my family's been, it's rubber, so you can rinse them real easy.
Yeah, and I mean, I haven't had a pair of Crocs in what feels like forever.
Feels like a long time.
But I mean, I'm very familiar with them.
That's true. All right. Well, if you're interested, there you go. They're going to be available President's Day on Lego's website, but you can also go to Crocs' website as well. All right. But we still got a lot more to come here on Wake Up West Texas Extra. So thanks for streaming with us. We'll be back in just 2 more minutes. Don't go anywhere.
Now, from the First Alert 7 Weather Center, here's meteorologist Ethan Yost.
Well, welcome back, everybody, and happy Thursday morning. We are starting off this morning on the chilly side. So let's start with those current temperatures as of 7 o'clock this morning. Areas across the Permian Basin at or above freezing this morning, currently at 32 in Odessa, 33 for Midland. But temperatures do warm up pretty quickly this afternoon. Here's the next couple hours. We'll be near 60 at lunchtime and up to 67 by 4 o'clock this afternoon for the Midland Odessa area. And that's going to come alongside a plenty of sunshine area-wide, really the entire state of Texas under a sunny sky. A couple high clouds across far southern portions of the state, but overall looking like a pretty dry day on the way. And again, those forecast high temperatures this afternoon, mid to upper 60s, 66 for Odessa, 67 for Midland, near 70 there for Sanderson and Fort Stockton. Wouldn't be surprised if they hit 70, and a cloudless sky all afternoon. That'll continue overnight tonight, and temperatures overnight not too bad. We'll actually be above freezing across the Permian Basin, 38 for Odessa and 37 for Midland, touching the freezing marker there across Van Horn and Marfa in the morning, but overall not too bad going into tomorrow morning. Looking ahead to your First Alert 7 10-day forecast, warm weather on the way, much above the average for this time of the year. After a high of 67 today, we'll be up to the low to mid 70s on your Friday afternoon, continuing to warm into your Saturday, a high of 75, 74 on Sunday. Adding some clouds to the forecast, but still dry all the way through the weekend. Looking like a nice weekend to really get out, do some grilling, enjoy the outdoors for Super Bowl Sunday. I think it's going to be a great time for that. We'll maintain 70s in the forecast even into the first half of next week. We'll add some additional rain chances in the forecast, but very slight late Monday to Tuesday. So overall, just a dry and very warm forecast for the first couple weeks of February.
Yeah, not looking too bad at all. I'm surprised after the pattern flip that we saw in the last few weeks of January. This is going to be quite the treat heading to Super Bowl Sunday. So many people are going to be outdoors, enjoying a cookout out back with the family. So it couldn't have been really any better than this, with some cloud cover, not looking too bad either. And then rain after that, just the cherry on top.
Exactly. I mean, you can't get much better than that. Perfect timing for the weekend.
Not looking bad whatsoever. Let's turn now, of course, to news across the nation this morning. We're following, of course, the big story out of Arizona where NBC Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie spoke for the very first time on video since the disappearance of her mother.
And we're learning more about how the newly crowned champion of this year's Westminster Dog Show is being treated like royalty. CBS's Jesse Mitchell has that and more in today's top stories.
We are ready to talk.
Savannah Guthrie, co-host of The Today Show, took to social media Wednesday night alongside her two siblings to relay a message to their mother's abductor, indicating they're willing to talk and want to see evidence their mom is alive. The social media plea comes as the search for Nancy Guthrie stretches into a fifth day. Authorities believe the 84-year-old was taken from her Tucson area home against her will late Saturday night. The president's border czar, Tom Homan, announced plans to immediately reduce the number of federal officers in Minneapolis in the wake of the deadly shootings there last month of 2 U.S. citizens. About 2,000 agents remain in Minnesota, and Homan says his goal is a complete drawdown if certain conditions are met. This comes as lawmakers on Capitol Hill have less than 2 weeks to reach a deal on reforms to ICE before funding for the Department of Homeland Security runs out. And it was a day of celebration for Penny the Doberman Pinscher, the newly crowned champion of this year's Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show. In honor of her win, Penny was treated to a meal of chicken and carrots prepared by a professional chef before enjoying quality time atop New York City's Empire State Building. Penny beat a field of more than 2,500 dogs to win Best in Show honors Tuesday night. Those are some of the day's top stories. Jesse Mitchell, CBS News, New York.
Treated like royalty for sure. Now we're keeping an eye on your money, where earlier this morning, financial expert Mickey Cargill joined us to discuss the surge in the price of silver commodity. Here's a look at that interview.
It's time now for Money with Mickey. Silver prices surged dramatically this year, hitting prices around $89 per ounce on Wednesday.
From an all-time high of $121 an ounce on January 29th, silver crashed to $72 just 3 days later. Joining us now to discuss this is Mickey Cargill from Cargill Investments. He joins us every Thursday here on the show. Mickey, good morning to you.
Good morning, Matthew. Good morning, Jacob.
So, Mickey, why has the price of silver increased lately, and what's behind that kind of up and down nature?
Well, there's several factors involved. The main factor is that there's a lot of demand for silver right now from the build out for AI and also from solar panels. So we're using more silver. There's a limited supply that drives the price up. But the main thing that's driving the price up is just the speculation. Whenever you have an asset go up a lot in value, that brings in more investors and speculators, which drives up the price even more. The total market of silver is really extremely small. So as there's more demand, that drives up the price. Silver has always been very volatile.
So why did silver prices fall so fast come January 20th, 30th?
Yeah, so it was triggered by, whenever you buy silver, you can also buy it on the commodities exchange. And you put up a small amount of money and you get a really large amount of leverage by doing that. So the structure of the market itself is that the markets determine how much you have to put up to buy the silver. The exchanges increase the amount that you had to put up as a down payment for your purchase. It caused selling, and as that selling came into the market, it drove prices down. It scared speculators, and they just dumped too much silver on the market at one time.
How would I go about buying some silver?
Well, there's several ways. You know, you have the physical silver itself, and I brought a few examples for you here. This is the main way that people buy it. It's the 1 ounce coin. It's 99% pure silver. You can buy it from coin dealers. It's a very easy way to own silver. The downside is you have to find a place to keep it. You can also buy U.S. coins. This is a dime that's 90% silver. It was U.S. coinage before 1964. You know, here's another example. It's a $50, a little bit larger in size, and this is a bit unusual. This is a 10-ounce silver coin from Australia. So you can own it in several different ways. Again, you have to keep it. You can also buy paper silver. You can buy it on the exchanges. SLV is a ticker for one of the exchange-traded funds. Very easy to hold in your brokerage account, and probably the best way to own silver. You can also buy it on the commodities exchanges, again, by buying futures, the right to buy the silver in the future. That's just up to you, how you want to own it.
Yeah, and so Mickey, I'm curious, what's your advice for viewers at home who may own silver already or think about buying?
Yeah, well, silver's gone up a lot. It went, as we mentioned, up above $100. This morning it's back down to $77. So just overnight it's fallen another 11%. So you have to be prepared. Many people who thought they were investing have learned that they're actually speculating, and it's probably not right for most people because of that extreme volatility. But if you do have some and it's bothering you that it's so volatile, sell some of it, reduce your holdings, and I think that's a good idea.
Mickey, do you and the silver need an escort back to your car?
Well, you promised that you'd watch me, so it'll be all right.
All right. Mickey Cargile joins us every Thursday. Mickey, thank you.
My pleasure.
Other headlines now. While home buyers seem to have an advantage in the housing market these days, renting may be the smarter move, actually. A new study from LendingTree found that home buyers in the U.S. are paying nearly 37% more than renters each month. That difference is greater in some cities like San Francisco, Bridgeport, Connecticut, and New York City, where mortgages can run between $3,200 to $4,000 plus every month. That's insane. Renting in those cities is close to $1,600 cheaper per month. On the other side of the spectrum, cities like Phoenix, Orlando, or Columbia, South Carolina have a small gap between rent and mortgage costs.
The Washington Post is going through with mass layoffs. Employees were told to stay home and join a Zoom call where leadership announced what it called significant actions across the company. Sources say that includes shutting down almost the entire sports section and canceling the Daily Post Reports podcast. The paper's Metro desk is also being restructured, and there are plans to shrink the paper's international coverage. Widespread layoffs have been expected for weeks, especially after leaders decided not to send reporters to the Winter Olympics, but later changed course. The uncertainty follows a turbulent year under owner Jeff Bezos, which saw changes to the opinion section that prompted its editor to leave the company. And subscribers canceled en masse after a planned endorsement of Kamala Harris was scraped.
The supply of cattle in the U.S. has reached a 75-year low, forcing some meat processors to take a financial hit. Data from the Department of Agriculture shows the price of beef rose by more than 16% last year. Tyson Foods covers about a fifth of the country's meat supply. It says it lost about $319 million during the final quarter of last year. Looking ahead, though, Tyson Foods predicts it could lose up to $500 million in beef business by the end of its fiscal year this September. The cattle shortage means processors will have ultimately to pay higher prices. The AG department released a semi-annual cattle report just last week. It found the U.S. cattle herd shrunk by 300,000 last year alone.
PepsiCo announced yesterday that it is slashing the prices on popular chip products just in time for the Super Bowl. Consumers will see the price of brands like Doritos, Lay's, Cheetos, and Tostitos come down in cost by nearly 15%. This comes in response to customer complaints that they have become too expensive. Shoppers in the United States will begin seeing the new prices this week ahead of the Super Bowl on Sunday, which is traditionally one of the biggest days for buying snacks. New labeling on the products will be advertised the reduced pricing.
That's actually really nice to say. I was going to say, that's not something we see very often these days, I feel like.
Yeah, not at all. And I think it's a perfect time, like it says.
Have some chips on hand. That's true. It's going to be very busy this coming Super Bowl Sunday. Speaking of, why don't we take a look at our poll, see how things are going there. I'll pull it up as well so I can switch some of them around. So let's see what we have up on the screen now. We have what was your favorite stage of school? That's kind of balanced out a little bit more. High school, not in the lead as far as what it was. Elementary, pulling up a bit. 28.
Yeah, it looks like most people are not in favor of middle school.
No, Sawyer is.
Besides Sawyer, that's right.
Sawyer.
Yes.
We have the Lego Crocs poll. Would you wear them? Ooh, 67% said no. I'm not surprised. The proportions on those things.
I definitely would have chose no, to be
Would you?
honest.
Yeah, same here too.
Even though they may advertise as comfy, they don't look very comfy in my
No, they look kind of like they would be like hard. Yeah, that's true. And I've seen some of the Crocs with like furry stuff
is
in
that
it.
right?
Yeah, so maybe they have that option available.
Maybe.
And also the next one being Super Bowl related. Who do you think will win the Super Bowl this year? Very, very charged question. Seattle Seahawks in the lead 72-28. That lead diminished just a little bit. We talked about chips, actually. I should have brought this poll up first. What is the best type of chip? There's only 3 options here. I feel like there's tons. There's Sun chips.
Doritos.
Do you like?
I have
Me
to
too.
go for the unpopular opinion here. Yeah.
I voted Doritos myself.
And all three of them I can deal with, but Doritos, I mean, you can't go wrong.
Especially with a sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
That's
perfect combination.
Best combo ever for sure. Well, now we're going to take a moment to give a news and weather update to our viewers on television on First Alert 7 CBS. So don't go anywhere. Wake Up West Texas Extra continues in just a moment.
From First Alert 7 News, this is a Wake Up West Texas news and weather update.
Time now is 7:56 on this Thursday, Friday Eve. I'm Matthew Alvarez here alongside meteorologist Ethan Yost filling in for Sawyer McRoy this morning. Ethan, good morning to you. How's it looking?
Good morning. It's looking like a chilly start to the day, but overall it's going to be warming up quickly. We'll start this morning with those current temperatures as of 7 o'clock this morning. And most areas across West Texas are in the 30s, right around or just above the freezing marker, including areas like southeast New Mexico. But again, with plenty of sunshine this afternoon and southwest winds, we will warm up quickly. We'll be back to near 60 by lunchtime, on our way up to near 70 degrees by about 4 o'clock this afternoon. So you might be able to put away that jacket by about lunchtime this afternoon. That's going to be accompanied by plenty of sunshine, plenty of blue sky out there, not really a cloud in sight across the entire Lone Star State. And again, look at those daytime highs. Those numbers reading into the mid to upper 60s area-wide. 66 for Odessa, 67 for Midland, 68 for Big Spring. And I wouldn't be surprised if areas like Fort Stockton and Sanderson actually touch 70 this afternoon. That's going to bring us about 10 degrees, or excuse me, about 5 to 6 degrees above our average this time of year. Now for tonight, also some good news because we're actually going to be above freezing to start your Friday morning. 38 for Odessa and 37 for Midland. Now looking ahead of your First Alert 7 10-day forecast, look at that warm up into this weekend. Friday, high of 73 degrees, 75 on Saturday. We'll add some more clouds to the forecast on Sunday, but still dry all weekend long with highs into the middle 70s. And then Monday and Tuesday, we'll add some very slight rain chances to the forecast, but even with those chances, we'll still see highs into the 70s on Monday and Tuesday, and then continuing into a good portion of next week as well.
Ethan, thank you very much. We have your first alert this morning on some park closures happening in Odessa. The city announcing today that Lawndale Park and Murray Fly Park will be closed today for turf repairs. Those parks will reopen, though, tomorrow morning. Repairs will also be done at Crump Park and Salinas Park as well. Those repairs are planned for tomorrow, February 6th. The city says both of those parks will reopen on Saturday morning as well. In Midland, the school district says students have allegedly planned a protest for tomorrow. The district issuing a statement saying, quote, while Midland ISD respects students' rights to express their perspectives, disruptions to the instructional environment will not be tolerated. Ensuring student safety and maintaining a focused learning environment remains the district's top priority, end quote. Now, Midland ISD is encouraging students to stay in class because leaving campus without permission, they say, violates the student code of conduct and also will result in an absence. Any disruptions or safety concerns will face disciplinary action, according to Midland ISD. You can find their full statement at firstalert7.com. And we'll have another check of the news and weather in just half an hour. Join us live streaming on Wake Up West Texas Extra on Facebook, YouTube, and firstalert7.com. Have a great day.
From First Alert 7 News, with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching Wake Up West Texas.
Extra, good morning to you. 8 o'clock on this Thursday, Friday Eve. So glad to have you here streaming with us live on Facebook, YouTube, and FirstAlert7.com, as well as our connected TV app. We're joined now by meteorologist Ethan Yost, filling in for meteorologist Sawyer McElroy on this Thursday. Good to have you with us, making your Wake Up West Texas Extra debut.
That's right. Good morning to you, Matthew, and everyone at home. Thanks for joining us.
So glad to have you with us. Now, this morning, we were talking about several different topics the last hour of Wake Up West Texas Extra. We remind you, by the way, while we're talking about this, to take us with you wherever you go. You can watch your favorite First Alert 7 shows on our app. Download it now on your connected TV, phone, or tablet. Start your mornings with Wake Up West Texas from 5 to 7 on TV. And then when you head out the door, we're on your phone on Wake Up West Texas Extra from 7 to 9. You can also watch us live on the First Alert 7 Facebook page, where we're monitoring the comments right now, and YouTube channel. And now to the poll where West Texas weighs in. That's what I was talking about just a moment ago. Let's see what one of the polls are this morning. We have several you can answer on. We were just talking about the best type of chip. Ethan and I are both on the Dorito camp. We're probably the ones who have made up the 16% so far. Cheetos is the number one.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised by that, to be honest.
I am too. You figure at least
Doritos,
Lay's?
I thought Doritos was going to be on top.
That's true. I mean, Doritos is a classic. I love
everyone
it.
I know loves Doritos. I mean, Lay's, I mean, they're all right.
It's,
Cheetos,
it's like the chip, I guess.
I would say Cheetos is a good second for me. Lay's in third, if I had to order it top three.
The opposite, yeah, exactly.
In reverse order.
And I feel like this is a limiting poll because some people, maybe they were exclusive as Sun Chips. Or specifics like hot Cheetos. Maybe folks don't like Cheetos; they like hot Cheetos.
See, I used to like the hot chips, but I feel like they're less pleasant nowadays. I feel like I prefer just a good, classic Cheetos.
A normal chip.
They have those hot Funyuns. Like Funyuns are my favorites.
Those are good. The hot Funyuns are actually the only hot chip that I enjoy.
Oh, really?
The only one.
See, I like just the plain old Funyuns. I can also do the hot ones, but Funyuns are overall just my favorite
Funyuns
chip,
are good.
actually, so I'll get
that would have been a good one to add to the poll as well. But yeah, I mean, I have a great heat tolerance. Like I eat salsa and things like that, but the chips I can't do.
Can't
Isn't
do
that
it?
Unusual?
See, there's even hotter chips, I think. You ever heard of the Takis?
I have, yes.
Those are
I've
just
had
not
Takis.
my favorite. I don't like the.
Those are strong.
Flavor. Yeah.
Very, very strong.
But if you have a high tolerance for heat, give them a try.
Yeah, I got to try them out. Takis. It's been a long time, actually. I think I've had them years ago. Who do you think will win this year's Super Bowl 60? 72-28 Seahawks right now in the lead. They both have a storied past at the Super Bowl, especially the Patriots. Mm-hmm. The Pats have won many Super Bowls, especially with Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, that duo back when. Both out of the NFL now. So curious how this turns out. I always take Jacob Brandenburg's pick on this because, he's really in tune with the sports news. I'm not.
the complete opposite as well.
I'm just not.
Don't follow sports and, of course, football for that matter. So I'm kind of, in the dust here and the decision making.
We'll see what happens, of course. We watch the Super Bowl. We keep it on. Do you want to just observe the game at all?
Yeah, I will.
You'll keep an eye on it? Okay.
Yeah.
Me too. We're going to have a little gathering, I think, a Super Bowl gathering. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are, and luckily, the weather's shaping up nicely for that. We'll talk about that, of course, as we go into the rest of the forecast. I want to show you outside, though, this morning as we start the day. Look at that beautiful sunrise over Midland Interstate 20. Traffic looks like it's moving along smoothly there along Interstate 20.
Yeah, it's very nice blaring, that sun
this
morning. Make sure you grab sunglasses out the door.
Definitely.
Especially if you're heading east, because sun's going to be in your eyes this morning. But it's going to be a fantastic day. It's going to be warming up quickly with the help of that sun.
Good to hear.
You want to go around the iCams right now? We can.
Oh, definitely. Yes, I'd love to. Yeah, let's take a tour. We have our iCam network across the area. Look at that beautiful sunrise. I almost want to say sunset. I do that a lot.
I keep saying that myself.
You,
I'm so
I understand,
used to
because
being
you're
on
on the evening.
shift.
Yes.
It's always hard to get accustomed, especially because it's, when we come in, it's still dark out. So it's
nighttime.
Is it night? My brain's like, is it night or is it morning?
Hey, you were truly back and forth. That's true.
But yeah, beautiful view there. Also a crystal blue sky there, not a cloud in sight. We'll continue to move through the iCams here. This is, I believe, Fort Stockton. Yes.
Oh, yes. Clear blue sky. You weren't kidding about that. Not a cloud in the sky.
Crystal blue.
Wow.
We were just so dry today, but it's going to make for a beautiful day today. So if you're a fan of warm and sunny skies, this is the forecast for you. Here's a view over Big Spring off the Cap Rock there, and it's looking like a nice day there. A little bit of haze, it looks like, on the iCam.
I can feel the dryness. I bought this tea because obviously we're talking a lot on this show, but I can feel the dryness in the air. Wow, where's this? Goodness.
This is Presidio.
Wow. That is a beautiful camera shot there. Look at the mountains in the distance.
And they actually have a little bit of high-level clouds moving in over there.
So a little different
cirrus
there.
clouds.
Yes.
But most areas cloudless, and even with those, it's not going to do anything to temperatures.
Goodness, that is beautiful for sure. And of course, through the rest of the day, like you mentioned, going to be warming up quite nicely. Our forecast shaping up well as we move through the rest of the day. But I'm curious, how is the rest of our weekend shaping up heading into Super Bowl Sunday?
Yeah, we are looking at a warm forecast going into the weekend, Matthew. We are seeing a warm day today. Highs are going to be in the mid to upper 60s, but it warms up even more on your Friday. Highs will be into the low to mid 70s, if you can believe that. And that'll continue into this weekend. Highs will remain in the 70s, and I think some spots along the Trans-Pecos on Saturday afternoon could touch 80 degrees. Can you believe that for the beginning of February? So now let's look at the big picture this morning, as we always do on the Weather Maker's map. And this weather pattern is all being sponsored by this big upper ridge of high pressure currently in a position across the Intermountain West, and that's going to bring with it a warm front through West Texas coming up first thing tomorrow morning, sponsoring a warmer day tomorrow. But with high pressure and control, that also means a dry air mass, as we were just talking about, and all the eye cams, crystal blue skies out there. Only exception is you've seen some high clouds there across the Presidio Valley, but overall it's a pretty nice day for your Thursday afternoon on the way. Now let's talk numbers here over the next 10 days. Again, we're expecting 70s back in the forecast starting tomorrow, but it doesn't just stop there. It'll last through the weekend, mid-70s, back to the low 70s Monday, Tuesday, mid-70s Wednesday, low 70s Thursday. So it's going to be a steady streak of 70s all the way through the latter half of next week. And some areas, again, on Sunday could touch the 80s across the Trans-Pecos. So if you're a fan of warm weather, this forecast is for you. And again, with high pressure and control, abundant sunshine is in the forecast. Here's lunchtime, plenty of sunshine across all areas of West Texas. We'll add a few high clouds in the forecast overnight as a warm front moves in from the southwest. But generally, again, temperatures are going to be a little bit warmer going in tomorrow. Highs back into the 70s area wide. Now for the rest of today, again, highs into the mid to upper 60s. And then lows tonight, actually good news, will be above freezing for most locations. 38 for Odessa, 37 for Midland. Then looking ahead of your First Alert 7 10-day forecast, 70s in the forecast for the foreseeable future. We'll be sticking around the 70-degree marker or greater through Thursday of next week. And then mostly dry conditions. The only exception is slight rain chances going into your second half of your Monday into Tuesday.
All right, nice forecast indeed. Looking forward to this weekend. Ethan, thank you. Let's turn out to your morning extra headlines you need to know to start your day on this Thursday, February 5th. We'll begin tracking crime in Terrell County, where a traffic stop uncovered a human smuggling attempt. We have photos for you. Sheriff Thaddy Cleveland says the arrest happened on Tuesday. Here are some pictures the sheriff shared with us from that traffic stop. The sheriff saying the driver is being charged with smuggling of persons. The person being smuggled was turned over to the Border Patrol agents in Sanderson. A man is alleged and accused of stealing a package right off of someone's front porch in Midland. Caught on doorbell camera here. You can see he walks up to this house, rings the doorbell. Is anyone home? No one's home at the time. Then he wipes his fingerprint off of the doorbell. This is on Siesta Lane near Garfield. After that, he takes the package. The door owner, I should say the homeowner, gets home to her doorbell, sees the package is gone, and so she reaches out to police for help. And so now they're asking for your help. Do you recognize this porch pirate? If so, reach out to Midland Crime Stoppers at 694-8477. There he is wiping the fingerprints off. I'm curious what he does next. Let me see. Okay, it starts over. So that's a good reference, a point of reference for solving that crime. Another crime that wants to be the U.S. Marshal Service wants solved is to find Giorgio DeJohn Hayden. He is wanted for a parole violation. No details on exactly what parole violation this is tied to. He is 39 years old. If you know where he is, reach out to Midland Crime Stoppers at 694-TIPS. The first tip that leads to his arrest is eligible for a cash reward. And now to a traffic alert that could impact your commute in Midland this morning, where a lane on Neely Avenue is closed right now due to utility work. You can see the area marked on your screen in orange where this is happening between Midland Drive and McDonald Street, which is just west of the Rusk Elementary School campus and Midland Legacy High School. We have your first alert on some park closures happening in Odessa. It's important to know, especially because today's a nice day and heading into the weekend is going to be nice as well. The city announced that Lawndale Park on the north side and Murray Fly Park will both be closed today for turf repair work. Now, the parks, though, will reopen tomorrow morning. They're not the only ones being redone, though. Take a look at this. Crump Park and Salinas Park. Those repairs are being planned for tomorrow, but then those parks are expected to be reopened by Saturday morning. In Midland ISD, the school district says students have allegedly planned a protest for later this week. tomorrow specifically. The district issued a statement saying, quote, while Midland ISD respects students' rights to express their perspectives, disruptions to the instructional environment will not be tolerated. Ensuring student safety and maintaining a focused learning environment remains the district's top priority, end quote. Now, the school district is encouraging students to remain in class throughout the entire school day. Leaving campus, they say, without permission violates the student code of conduct and will result in an absence. Any disruptions or safety concerns will face disciplinary action, according to Midland ISD. You can find their full statement and more details about this by logging on to firstalert7.com. Much lighter news in education, where Ector County ISD invited all of their 8th grade students to gather for the 8th grade fair yesterday. This fair is to help with their transition from middle school to high school. The 8th grade fair teaches students about the different programs, electives, and extracurricular activities available to them. The fair had over 100 booths on hand where students could go by and visit and learn more. The goal is to help incoming freshmen and their families prepare to build a high school schedule.
So 8th graders are asked to choose a program or a course of study while they're in high school. And so we want to give them every opportunity to explore what their choices are and what they're choosing so that they know exactly what they will be doing in those classes or in those programs.
The fair had a student mariachi band. The robotics class drove around some of their robots, and early education teachers handed out robot babies to the students to take care of. Odessa College was also at the fair to talk about its dual credit program, which is very important, by the way. High school students listen to that. This is the 4th year that the event has been held, and ECISD finds it to be a very helpful resource fair for students getting ready for their first year of high school. I need to take a drink. That was your morning extra for this Thursday. You can find all the latest news, weather, and sports by logging on to firstalert7.com, our mobile news app, or following the First Alert 7 Facebook page. Let's take a live look outside again this morning on this beautiful Thursday over the skies of Presidio. That iCam I could look at all morning long. Meteorologist Ethan Yost rejoining us with a look at your First Alert forecast coming up right after the break. But a reminder, take us with you wherever you go. Download our app on your phone, tablet, or TV. Stay with us.
Now, from the First Alert 7 Weather Center, here's meteorologist Ethan Yost.
Well, we are eyeing a warming trend in our forecast going through at least the next week, so that's some good news for warm weather lovers. Let's start with your First Alert weather headlines. Today, sunny and warm, highs in the mid to upper 60s. Warming up into the weekend. Friday, we're going to be back to the 70s, mid to upper 70s by Saturday afternoon. That's going to continue through a good portion of next week as well. And this pattern is being sponsored by this big upper ridge of high pressure currently in a position across the Intermountain West. And that's going to drift off to the east, and that's going to influence our weather pattern and bring a relatively warmer air mass back into the region. We're also eyeing this subtropical low pressure system across the western Pacific, and as that's going to slowly meander to the east over the coming days, be here about Monday of next week, and that could brew up a couple showers across the state of Texas, but right now, chances are rather low. For now, though, with high pressure in control, dry air mass in place, plenty of sunshine and a cloudless sky really for the entire state, and that's also going to fuel warm conditions over the next 10 days. We'll be back up to the 70s to end the work week, through the weekend, and for half of next week. So a prolonged period of above average warmth. For reference, our average high this time of year is around 61 to 63 degrees. So you can see that departure from average on the bottom there will be 10 to 15 degrees above average all the way through Wednesday of next week. Now again, with high pressure and control, that means plenty of sunshine. Here's noon, lunchtime, abundant sunshine area wide. That'll take us through the evening commute. Notice some high level clouds moving in from the southwest. That's going to be the warm front that's going to move to the north throughout tonight, setting the stage for an even warmer afternoon on your Friday, and then more warm into your Saturday. So just going to continue to warm over the next few days. And speaking of which, warm afternoon highs expected this afternoon, generally in the mid to upper 60s, 66 for Odessa, 67 for Midland, touching 70 across Fort Stockton and Sanderson as well. And overnight tonight, the good news is that we'll be above freezing for many locations, mid to upper 30s across the Permian Basin, touching the freezing marker across Marfa. But overall, not too bad to start your Friday morning. And then we warm up to 73 on Friday afternoon. Saturday, 75. We'll maintain low to mid 70s in the forecast all the way through Thursday of next week, alongside some slight rain chances on Monday and Tuesday.
All right, Ethan, thank you very much. I'm joined now here in studio live by City of Odessa Code Enforcement Officer Andrew Nichols. Andrew, thank you so much for coming on Wake Up West Texas Extra.
Okay, awesome.
So good to have you here with us this morning. And now we're talking about several different topics on how code enforcement keeps our city looking great and also is safe as well for all residents. Can you talk about this month's Code of the Month?
Yes, primarily what we're going to be doing this month is we're looking at potholes, primarily in commercial areas right now, potholes in the parking lots, and that you can report those through the City of Odessa app, Team Odessa, also online and calling the office. And the reason we're doing this is it's tripping hazards, and also can damage vehicles and other things like that. We are working with several different property owners right now trying to get their properties cleaned.
Okay, so you're trying to get a hold of that right now. And so potholes, of course, after that winter storm, it really became a problem because, can you explain how potholes form because of that, if someone doesn't know?
Basically what ends up happening is you get water that gets in between the cracks of the asphalt or the concrete, and then as water freezes, it expands, and it basically just pops it.
It pops the road, essentially, and then it collapses in on itself.
Yes, sir.
And then we find ourselves bumping all over the place. So we're trying to keep an eye on those things. And, of course, specifically code enforcement, especially in parking lots, things like that.
In primarily commercial areas right now.
Sure. Okay.
I mean, it does apply to other places, but we're looking at the sidewalks in and around the commercial retail areas and stuff like that, just as a safety measure.
Absolutely. And so that is something you're focusing on all year long, not just this month. But this month you're kind of highlighting it because of the recent storm. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, is there anything else your department right now is focusing on?
Yes. We've discovered over, well, for me, the past 11 years, is that we see an uptick in mattresses in alleys.
Sure. Okay.
And that's usually February, March every year. The thing we'd like to remind everybody is that you can drop those off at Keep Odessa Beautiful over off of 42nd and Golder. And that's a free drop-off point for any of the residents inside the city limits. Also, the other thing we're trying to get across right now is we've seen an uptick in people parking in the front yards, and you just can't do that.
Sure.
There are some exceptions, like property has no alley, or if the alley's less than 16 feet, but there's only a few places with that particular set.
And it's something that's city-wide. It's not one particular area. You're seeing it across the entire city.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Across the entire city.
What are the penalties for that in particular? I'm curious if it becomes a problem.
For front yard parking, basically, we'll deliver a notice of violation. The person has 24 hours to remove the vehicle. If not, then citations will be issued. Citations can run, I'm not even positive on that, but it's usually $200 or more.
So it's quite a hefty ticket, no less.
Yes.
Any way you look at it, this is going to be a ticket. And of course, there's reasons behind all of these things, what you're doing, especially the front yard parking, not only for visibility, but also just for the neighborhood itself.
Yes, it basically, it will affect property values. It will affect, the grass being torn up and thusly devaluing the neighborhood, also increasing the dust in the neighborhood. Grass keeps a lot of the dust down here in the city.
Very true. That's very, very true, especially in West Texas.
Exactly.
Any grass would help the better, but you're right about that as well. Is there anything else you're focusing on as well?
For the most part, we continue on doing our sweeps, and we're doing those in each district. I'm not sure which, we're in District 2 again.
Okay.
And we rotate districts every month, so we're doing a sweep every month, and it's a smaller area than we used to do, because we only did those 4 times a year. But now we're doing it every month, and we're seeing some good traction. We're getting the city a little bit better each time.
That's wonderful. And of course, part of your mission, you personally, Andrew, have been part of this organization doing this code enforcement, in the code enforcement division, I should say. So for you, why do you feel like this is a calling for you to do?
Basically, it's a way to give back to the community and serve the community, which I live here, so I kind
It's
of want
your
to be
home
better.
too.
Yeah.
It's your home too. That's very true. Of course, is there anything else you'd like to discuss regarding code enforcement for people who may not know at home what you do?
Basically, code enforcement, our whole thing is we want compliance. We want to make the city a better place. We want, yards to be mowed, the weeds to be kept down. And, basically with the high weeds and grass, you get mice. Mice leads to snakes, depending upon where you live, or it can lead to other types of animals and, other, like mosquitoes if it's a lot of rainwater, And it's basically just trying to keep the city safe and healthy.
That's a good point, exactly. It's keeping it safe, keeping it healthy, and a place we can be very proud of. I think it's also your mission alongside Keep Odessa Beautiful's mission.
Yes, and basically, take pride in your community. That's what we started that several years back, and that's something we've been trying to live by, is to keep, take pride in your neighborhood, try to make your neighborhood better, even if it's just picking up one can as you take a walk.
That's true. Any small thing can make a big difference for sure.
Yes.
If someone has questions about whether they're in compliance or not, where can they turn to?
Basically, you can come right to the City of Odessa webpage, come to the code enforcement section, and we have an entire little briefing on there. I highly recommend it. It's something that we put together just at the end of last year, and it gives a basis. If you're new to Odessa, you can also go there. We have an entire little slideshow that kind of goes over the latest, of our trends that we have, and it's kind of the more common variations, trash and high weeds and grass, and generally those things, and it covers a lot, and it's only couple minutes long, and it's at your pace. And if you have questions, there's our phone number. You can call our front desk. The ladies that answer the phone are very, very knowledgeable, and if they can't, they'll pass you to a code officer, and one of them will be able to answer it, or even one of the supervisors.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for coming on. Andrew Nichols, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of Odessa. Andrew, thank you.
Yep, thank you, sir.
Let's turn now to a story we've covered where the City of Odessa is saying thank you and also looking forward to the future of St. John's Episcopal School turning 70. Take a look.
Good morning, Nova.
For the last 70 years, students have filled the halls of St. John's.
And when our students leave St. John's, people love to get our students because of the respect that they have for others, for their community. And that's what we teach.
Miss Heather Kirk is the head of school.
Well, this is one of my favorites, which is kindergarten. And it's Kandinsky. So they do a phenomenal job with that.
It's a position she's held for the last 5 years.
And it's a little daunting being one of 7, but I believe that God has placed me here for a reason.
And even though she's fairly new to the role, she's no stranger to the school's family, teaching here for over 22 years.
And so when those students walk through the halls, I know them, I know their families, and therefore we're just a bigger family.
Which diagraph goes in front of these letters to make a word? TH. What is TH when you put it together?
Now, we're a typical school. We still have stuff that goes, we're not perfect by any means, but we are imperfect people who love a school.
A school that's going to be around for another 70.
We are St. John's. We will stay who we are. We will stay a family. We will have that love for each other. But I want more people to experience that.
Reporting at St. John's, Lauren Munt, First Alert 7 News.
From First Alert 7 News, this is a Wake Up West Texas news and weather update.
Good morning, everyone. Time now is 8:25. I'm Matthew Alvarez here alongside meteorologist Ethan Yost with a check of the forecast. Ethan, good morning.
Good morning to you and everybody at home. We are starting off the morning on the chilly side. Most areas right at or above freezing. The only exception across those mountain areas, we are seeing some sub-freezing temperatures, but with the help of plenty of sunshine and a southwesterly wind throughout the afternoon, we'll be up to 60 degrees by lunchtime. on our way up to the upper 60s for many locations, even touching 70 across many locations. Combine that with abundant sunshine and dry conditions, and we're looking at a pretty nice day on the way. And that's going to continue through your Friday as well. Now, here are the numbers for this afternoon. Mid to upper 60s across the Permian Basin. 66 for Odessa, 67 for Midland, 66 for Big Lake, 65 up towards Andrews, and near 70 across Fort Stockton and Sanderson. Good news is most people stay above freezing overnight tonight. Mid to upper 30s across the Permian Basin under a clear sky. Looking ahead to your First Alert 7 10-day forecast, after a high of 67 today, we warm up 6 degrees into your Friday. A warm front moves in and we'll be up to 73 for your daytime high, 75 on Saturday. Continue to see those low to mid 70s all the way through the middle portion of next week. Mostly dry conditions. The only exception is going to be your second half of your Monday into your Tuesday, where we have introduced slight rain chances, that probability being about a 20 to 30% chance, but no washout is currently anticipated. And besides that, it's just going to be an abnormally warm and mostly dry forecast over the next 10 days.
All right, Ethan, thank you very much. Let's track crime now in Terrell County, where a traffic stop uncovered a human smuggling attempt. Sheriff Thaddeus Cleveland saying the arrest happened on Tuesday. He shared these photos with us. The sheriff saying the driver is being charged with smuggling of persons. The person is being smuggled were turned over to Border Patrol agents in Sanderson. And a man alleged of stealing a package from a doorstep in Midland was caught on camera. Officials say he's wanted for the theft of a package that was delivered to a home on Siesta Lane near Garfield Street. The video you see now was from Thursday of last week when it shows the man walking up to the home, ringing the doorbell, wiping his fingerprints off the camera, and then swiping the package. When the homeowner got home, she found that package was gone. If you recognize this porch pirate, call Midland Crime Stoppers at 694-8477. In education now, Ector County ISD invited all of their 8th grade students to their 8th annual 8th grade fair. The fair is to help with their transition from 8th grade to high school. The 8th grade fair teaches students about the different programs, elective and extracurricular activities available to them. The fair had over 100 booths students could visit. The goal is to help incoming freshmen and their families prepare to build a high school schedule.
So 8th graders are asked to choose a program or a course of study while they're in high school. And so we want to give them every opportunity to explore what their choices are and what they're choosing so that they know exactly what they will be doing in those classes or in those programs.
The fair had a student mariachi band on hand. The robotics class even had robots on hand to drive some of them around, and early education teachers brought out their robot babies that their students could handle and take care of. Odessa College also joined in on the 8th grade fair there to talk about its dual credit program for high school students, which is very important. This is the 4th year that the event has been held, and Ector County ISD finds it to be very helpful and a good resource for students getting ready for their very first year of high school. For the latest news, log on anytime to our website, that is firstalert7.com, and also join us for Wake Up West Texas Extra, streaming live right now on our Facebook page, YouTube channel, and firstalert7.com. In the meantime, we'll be back in another half an hour for another check of your news and weather on this Thursday. Keep it right here on First Alert 7.
From First Alert 7 News, with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching Wake Up West Texas.
Extra, good morning to you. 31 past the hour here at 8:31 on this Thursday, Friday Eve, as we like to call it. I'm with meteorologist Ethan Yost. You've been keeping track of the forecast, and a sneak peek, it's looking pretty good.
It is. Very nice day on the way and warming all the way through the weekend as well. So get out and enjoy it.
So glad to hear that, especially with Super Bowl Sunday coming up.
Perfect timing.
It couldn't have been better, really, as we're starting off the month of February. Speaking of the Super Bowl, we have a poll going right now on firstalert7.com/vote. Seattle Seahawks have been in the lead consistently as the fan favorite of who you think will win the Super Bowl this year. No one's going to know really for sure, but it's going to be a great game because these are two great teams just from their storied Super Bowl pasts. So that'll be interesting to see how that pans out. Our next poll, very interesting question. What was your favorite stage of school? We had a story about an 8th grade fair, students from middle school transitioning to high school. And I'm glad they're having that kind of fair. I think that's important because I never had a transfer fair or a transition fair like that.
Yeah.
And I felt like that would be helpful, is getting to an idea of what you're going to expect.
I think that's the hardest thing, growing up and going through school is that those transition periods going from elementary to middle school to high school to college.
High school to college, yes.
So, those transition time periods are very crucial.
Smart of VCIC to do that. I think that's a great idea. Our viewers' favorite stage of school, along with Sawyer's, high school, 58%. Sawyer was middle school, maybe one of the few votes on middle school, and elementary, 28%. I've got to be between elementary and high school, but I definitely went with high school because I think those were my formative years, as I think it is most people, where I decided what I wanted to do for sure. I've known since I was little, but I really put a plan together on how I would end up here.
Exactly. Like you were setting the stage for what you were going to do the rest of your life.
Exactly.
And so I feel like those moments in your life are what's going to stick with you, which is probably why it,
it's impactful.
Sticks with you, right to this day for high school. And I can relate to that in the same way. Same story here is kind of, knew what I wanted to do from a very young age. I was a weather geek, if you will, since I was a young child.
A tiny tot.
Really put the action into play starting in high school, though.
That's it. Same here. I'm with you there. Kind of make that plan. There's a lot of electives you can take, even if it's not directly what you want to do. It all adds up to that, especially heading into college. A reminder, you can take us with you wherever you go, work, store, grocery store, you name it. You can watch your favorite First Alert 7 shows on our app. Download it now on your connected TV, phone, or tablet. Start your mornings with us on Wake Up West Texas on your TV from 5 to 7 a.m. And then after that, join Wake Up West Texas Extra on Facebook Live, YouTube, those apps I talked about from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. We're on for another half hour more every weekday morning. You can watch us live on the First Alert 7 Facebook page and YouTube channel. Don't miss it. We're here every single weekday morning. Glad to have us on this streaming platform. I think it's the way of the future in the news business for sure. And it's a new initiative for us. We're still getting used to it. We're only 4 days in ever. So it's been fun. I've had a good time with it.
Yeah, I like the change of pace.
It's not so structured.
Yeah, more relaxed, and we get to interact with viewers. So I think there's pluses for all of it.
For sure. I'm very excited to continue this, see how it grows, especially with the rest of our team here. We have plenty of people that never get to be on camera, so maybe this is a good opportunity for that.
Yeah, good opportunity to be creative.
For sure. Now I'm curious, how's it looking outside on this Thursday morning? Because I know we had some good sunrises in the last hour. Let's see what we're looking at live now over Midland, where that sun is just blaring out there.
I know.
Even a little hazy. That might be the lens,
though. It looks like it. It might be the lens. Because we are looking at pretty much crystal blue skies across other areas. If we go over
it's
to
probably the lens.
Odessa ICAM, I feel like that shows a better picture.
That's a better idea,
yeah. There's maybe a high-level cloud in there. It's really hard to pick out. You have to really squint to see if there's a cloud in the sky.
Yes, in the very far back, barely.
But mostly sunny out there, and that's going to continue through the day today. We'll keep stepping through here. This is our Fort Stockton ICAM, and it is also a beautiful view out there. Maybe a high cloud or two out there, but it looks
I see a lens
crystal.
flare for sure.
Yeah, that's the lens flare. See, it's kind of tricking you.
Yes, it's hard to see. We're kind of far, for your reference, from our monitors. We're a good 10 feet away, so it's kind of hard for us to see.
And even though we have sunshine, it is a cold start to the morning, so make sure you grab that jacket on your way out. Let's continue our way through now to Big Spring off the Cap Rock there.
Wow.
Nice view looking over the city of Big Spring also. Plenty of blue sky and sunshine over there. And then last but not least, Presidio. Also a glaring...
That camera's awesome.
Glaring sun also. More high clouds also down there. We'll start to add those more into the Permian Basin coming up tomorrow. But overall, looking pretty good.
I was going to ask you a silly question just now when I thought about it a little bit more. Do you know what direction this camera's facing with the sun directly in our face?
Yes. I believe that would be east southeast.
East southeast. Okay, I was gonna say what direction is this? Well, the sun's rising, so in the easterly direction there. Looks fantastic out there in Presidio this morning. Not looking too bad whatsoever. I want to show you some incredible videos that are making the rounds on social media. This one here, video showing skiers being rescued, I should say, from malfunctioning gondolas in the Adirondack Mountains. This is in New York State. Over 60 skiers got stuck on a gondola on Gore Mountain in upstate New York. This was just yesterday morning. We're talking 60. I mean, those gondolas hold maybe half a dozen people. So this was several gondolas on this rope here, or this wire that got stuck. I'm not sure exactly what happened, a technical malfunction, obviously, but they have to be rescued from this high up with rope, like a helicopter rescue.
Yeah, we were talking about earlier that the good news is that, they have that, structured.
They're enclosed. Yeah, they're not in the elements.
Thing. Yeah, it's not like that exposed, seat that, swings around.
The, yes, whatever that's called.
I don't know what
I don't know what they're called either. We're not the most
I'm not
up to date with that.
Right,
yeah,
but,
me neither.
The point is, though, is that's pretty
ski
scary.
lift.
There you go.
A ski lift chair. Yeah, exactly. Those I've seen go wrong too, and that's not fun at all. Only 2 people to those. But this, I guess, could have been a lot worse. Luckily, no one was injured. Glad to say that.
Yes.
Take a look at this. Lego and Crocs have announced a multi-year partnership that they say pairs Crocs' bold spirit with the Lego Group's boundless imagination. And that's for sure in this. In celebration of their partnership, they have created Lego brick clogs. Clogs are the type of shoe that Crocs are. They're inspired by the iconic Lego brick shape and constructed by the same material Croc lovers have loved and come to know, that rubbery texture they have. Very durable as well. These shoes, $150.
Out of my price range, unfortunately.
Me too.
Also, out of style for me, I would say.
Yeah, they're oversized. The pair features 4 stud stamps with the Lego logo, a pivotal heel strap with a more secure fit, and faux anti-stud sole. The clogs are also accompanied by a Lego minifigure with 4 pairs of its own miniature Crocs, allowing customers to embrace the playfulness. The Lego brick clog will be available globally starting on Monday, February 16th, President's Day, via Crocs and at lego.com/Crocs. So if you're interested, you can get them, but I have a feeling they're going to go quick.
Yeah, and we were talking about it this last time. I feel like it's more of like, a collector's thing.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I can't imagine walking around and seeing people, casually walking around in Lego Crocs.
Giant Lego
clown shoes.
I feel like at some point, if a kid tries to have or wear them to school, I feel like it'll be a distraction. They'll get in trouble. I know my teachers wouldn't allow that in the classroom.
Oh, yeah.
Their giant shoes look like a Lego brick. Have you ever stepped on a Lego brick with your barefoot?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
That's the worst feeling you can have as a kid.
It's torturous. Yes,
And
or
I
a
used to
parent,
have,
you leave the mess on the ground.
Used to have these big tubs of, Legos as a kid. They get dumped on the floor.
Yes.
One would get, loose and you'd step on it late at night. Not fun.
Horrible. Not fun at all. So luckily these are nice rubber soft shoes, but they're huge. I mean, these things are oversized. How do you get, I guess you still order your same shoe size.
Yeah.
And so the
it
inside
looks like
fits.
very heavy weighted in the front. Like there's no way, because I saw the heel, it was pretty far back. So there must be a lot of room in the front of just like that rubber.
Whatever that is, a coating around it.
I have to see that in person. It looks
Me too.
interesting.
Well, we've still got a lot more to come here on Wake Up West Texas Extra.
Now, from the First Alert 7 Weather Center, here's meteorologist Ethan Yost.
Happy Thursday morning, everybody. Let's get a West Texas weather update, starting with the Weathermakers map. Big picture this morning. High pressure starting to work its way into the western U.S. Going to be in position across West Texas over the next couple days, feeling a big warm up. But big picture across the nation in terms of temperatures, we are starting off on the cool side, but it's going to change quickly as abundant sunshine builds in. A southwest wind is going to carry a relatively warmer air mass in place. And with high pressure in control, that means a dry air mass is in place, looking at abundant sunshine and a rain-free air mass in place up across much of the western half of the country. Now through tonight, we are expecting a surface warm front to lift in from the southwest, transporting a warm and dry air mass back into really a good portion of the state. And that's going to brew an even warmer day to end the work week. Let's get a look at those forecast high temperatures on your Friday. This says Thursday, but that should say Friday. But across the south, you can see low to mid 70s and even 80s across Texas. 81 degrees for the Dallas-Fort Worth area, 73 degrees for Odessa. So very warm. It's going to continue to warm even into the weekend. So let's get a look ahead at your 10-day forecast. Friday, 73 degrees. Saturday, 75, 74 on Sunday. And then continue to see highs in the low to mid 70s even through the first half of next week. We'll maintain dry conditions through Sunday, and then we'll introduce some very slight rain chances coming up on Monday and Tuesday. But right now, we're not anticipating a washout by any means.
Well, that's good. That's good news to not be a washout. Good news to have rain in the forecast at the same time. So, and at least it's not on Super Bowl Sunday with so many people, so many families are going to be out back enjoying the big game with their other family as well. Yeah, outdoors.
Beautiful day to go outdoors, grill. I mean, do your thing. It's going to be beautiful for this time of year.
74, 75 is a high. Not bad at all. Of course, also, Wake Up West Texas Extra is streaming live on Facebook Live. I've been watching the comments section, YouTube Live, as well as firstalert7.com. So we've got you covered every step of the way. Ethan, it's been a lot of fun this entire show. We're coming up to our last about 15 minutes or so. How's it been?
It's been fantastic. I like the interaction with the polls and stuff, and like being able to get people to answer questions, ask their own questions. I think that's going to be the biggest thing with this is the interaction.
Interaction, because in the normal newscast, we can't talk to our viewers necessarily directly. And so this is kind of an outlet to be able to do that. And so we're glad to be here streaming with you, and we'll do so every weekday morning from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. It's like a double morning show, an extra, if you will. That's why it's called this Wake Up West Texas Extra. So you're able to get an in-depth look at the news stories we talked about, but also your weather forecast.
Yeah, and if like you missed the morning show, you can take us on the go, and you can watch us when you're at work or anytime. So that's the good news here.
It's the news of the future for sure. Speaking of the news, let's turn now to news across the nation, where NBC Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie spoke for the first time on video since the disappearance of her mother.
And we're learning more about how the newly crowned champion of this year's Westminster Dog Show is being treated like royalty. CBS's Jesse Mitchell has that and more in today's top stories.
We are ready to talk.
Savannah Guthrie, co-host of the Today Show, took to social media Wednesday night alongside her two siblings to relay a message to their mother's abductor, indicating they're willing to talk and want to see evidence their mom is alive. The social media plea comes as the search for Nancy Guthrie stretches into a fifth day. Authorities believe the 84-year-old was taken from her Tucson area home against her will late Saturday night. The president's border czar, Tom Homan, announced plans to immediately reduce the number of federal officers in Minneapolis in the wake of the deadly shootings there last month of 2 U.S. citizens. About 2,000 agents remain in Minnesota, and Homan says his goal is a complete drawdown if certain conditions are met. This comes as lawmakers on Capitol Hill have less than 2 weeks to reach a deal on reforms to ICE before funding for the Department of Homeland Security runs out. And it was a day of celebration for Penny the Doberman Pinscher, the newly crowned champion of this year's Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show. In honor of her win, Penny was treated to a meal of chicken and carrots prepared by a professional chef before enjoying quality time atop New York City's Empire State Building. Penny beat a field of more than 2,500 dogs to win Best in Show honors Tuesday night. Those are some of the day's top stories. Jesse Mitchell, CBS News, New York.
And now we're keeping an eye on your money. Earlier this morning, financial expert Mickey Cargill joined us on Wake Up West Texas to discuss the surge in the price of silver as a commodity. Here's a look at that interview.
It's time now for Money with Mickey. Silver prices surged dramatically this year, hitting prices around $89 per ounce on Wednesday.
From an all-time high of $121 an ounce on January 29th, silver crashed to $72 just 3 days later. Joining us now to discuss this is Mickey Cargill from Cargill Investments. He joins us every Thursday here on the show. Mickey, good morning to you.
Good morning, Matthew. Good morning, Jacob.
So, Mickey, why has the price of silver increased lately, and what's behind that kind of up and down nature?
Well, there's several factors involved. The main factor is that there's a lot of demand for silver right now from the build out for AI and also from solar panels. So we're using more silver. There's a limited supply that drives the price up. But the main thing that's driving the price up is just the speculation. Whenever you have an asset go up a lot in value, that brings in more investors and speculators, which drives up the price even more. The total market of silver is really extremely small. So as there's more demand, that drives up the price. Silver has always been very volatile.
So why did silver prices fall so fast come January 30th?
Yeah, so it was triggered by whenever you buy silver, you can also buy it on the commodities exchange. And you put up a small amount of money and you get a really large amount of leverage by doing that. So the structure of the market itself is that the markets determine how much you have to put up to buy the silver. The exchanges increased the amount that you had to put up as a down payment for your purchase. It caused selling, and as that selling came into the market, it drove prices down. It scared speculators, and they just dumped too much silver on the market at one time.
How would I go about buying some silver?
Well, there's several ways. You know, you have the physical silver itself, and I brought a few examples for you here. This is the main way that people buy it. It's the 1 ounce coin. It's 99% pure silver. You can buy it from coin dealers. It's a very easy way to own silver. The downside is you have to find a place to keep it. You can also buy U.S. coins. This is a dime that's 90% silver. It was U.S. coinage before 1964. You know, here's another example. It's a $50, a little bit larger in size, and this is a bit unusual. This is a 10 ounce silver coin from Australia. So you can own it in several different ways. Again, you have to keep it. You can also buy paper silver. You can buy it on the exchanges. SLV is a ticker for one of the exchange traded funds. Very easy to hold in your brokerage account and probably the best way to own silver. You can also buy it on the commodities exchanges, again, by buying futures, the right to buy the silver in the future. That's just up to you, how you want to own it.
Yeah, and so, Mickey, I'm curious, what's your advice for viewers at home who may own silver already or think about buying?
Yeah, well, silver's gone up a lot. It went, as we mentioned, up above $100. This morning, it's back down to $77. So just overnight, it's fallen another 11%. So you have to be prepared. Many people who thought they were investing have learned that they're actually speculating, and it's probably not right for most people because of that extreme volatility. But if you do have some and it's bothering you that it's so volatile, sell some of it, reduce your holdings, and I think that's a good idea.
Mickey, do you and the silver need an escort back to your car?
Well, you promised that you'd watch me, so it'll be all right.
There we
all
go.
Right. Mickey Cargill joins us every Thursday. Mickey, thank you.
My pleasure.
Other headlines now. While home buyers seem to have an advantage in the housing market these days, renting may actually be the smarter move. A new study from LendingTree found that home buyers in the U.S. are paying nearly 37% more than renters each month. That difference greater in some cities like San Francisco, Bridgeport, Connecticut, or even New York City, where mortgages can run between $3,200 to $4,000 plus a month. Renting in those cities is close to $1,600 cheaper per month. On the other side of the spectrum, cities like Phoenix, Orlando, or Columbia, South Carolina have a small gap between rent and mortgage costs.
And the Washington Post is going through with mass layoffs. Employees were told to stay home and join a Zoom call where leadership announced what it calls significant actions across the company. Sources say that includes shutting down almost the entire sports section and canceling the Daily Post Reports podcast. The paper's Metro desk is also being restructured, and there are plans to shrink the paper's international coverage. Widespread layoffs have been expected for weeks, especially after leaders decided not to send reporters, I should say, to the Winter Olympics, but later changed course. The uncertainty follows a turbulent year under owner Jeff Bezos, which saw changes to the opinion section that prompted its editor to leave the company. And subscribers canceled en masse after a planned endorsement of Kamala Harris was scrapped.
The supply of cattle here in the U.S. has reached a 75-year low, forcing some meat processors to take a financial hit. Data from the Department of Agriculture shows the price of beef rose by more than 16% last year. Tyson Foods covers about a fifth of the country's meat supply, and it says it lost $319 million during the final quarter of last year. Looking ahead, Tyson Foods predicts it could lose up to $500 million in beef business by the end of fiscal year in September. The cattle shortage means processors will ultimately have to pay higher prices. The AG department released a semi-annual cattle report last week. It found the U.S. cattle herd shrunk by 300,000 just last year.
And PepsiCo announced yesterday that it is slashing the prices on popular chip products just in time for the Super Bowl. Consumers will see the price of brands like Doritos, Lay's, Cheetos, and Tostitos come down in cost by nearly 15%. This comes in response to customer complaints that they have become too expensive. Shoppers in the United States will begin seeing the new prices this week ahead of the Super Bowl on Sunday, which is traditionally one of the biggest days for buying snacks. So good time for that.
Yeah.
New labeling on the products will advertise the reduced prices.
That's really nice to see. Speaking of, we have a poll. What is the best type of chip? That's a public poll here in West Texas. We want you to weigh in on this poll. FirstAlert7.com/vote. The results here for the final part of the show: 58% with Cheetos on top, 28% Lay's Original on second, and Doritos surprisingly in distant third.
Yeah, I can't agree with that poll.
Me neither.
I'm in the unpopular tab of Doritos.
Same here. I love Doritos. They're my absolute favorite. I like the purple bag of Doritos.
Oh, yeah, the chili cheese ones?
Chili one, yes, very good. I've
Yeah.
discovered those in junior high, actually.
They actually also have some hot nacho Doritos.
Oh, yes, I've had those too, the
spicy
darker
nacho,
red.
Spicy nacho.
Yes.
Those are probably my go-to for Doritos.
Delicious. We love a good Doritos chip. Super Bowl Sunday coming up this weekend. A lot of you are going to be going out getting those chips at a reduced cost, apparently.
Yeah.
Good timing
It's
on
at
that.
15% reduced cost.
Kind of a smart marketing
Oh,
tip
yeah.
as well. I think that there might have been some correlation
Even
there. I don't
without
know.
the reduced price, people were going to be gouging for chips anyway.
Oh,
so
yeah.
even more of a reason to go.
That is for sure. We appreciate you, of course, joining us here on Wake Up West Texas Extra. We're almost finished with our show. We end at 9 o'clock in the morning, but we're about to join our Wake Up West Texas viewers on First Alert 7 CBS on television for a news and weather update. And there's a lot to talk about in the way of news headlines, but also the weather forecast. Ethan has an in-depth look at that with some change possibly at the beginning of next week, right after Super Bowl Sunday. So we'll have details on that and all of your latest news as well. So now we're going to take a quick moment for that news and weather update. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back.
From First Alert 7 News, this is a Wake Up West Texas news and weather update.
Good morning, everyone. Time now is 8:55 on this Thursday. I'm Matthew Alvarez here alongside meteorologist Ethan Yost. Ethan, good morning. How's the forecast shaping up?
Good morning, Matthew. Forecast is shaping up nicely, especially for warm weather lovers. We are starting off the morning on the chilly side, so make sure you grab that jacket. Current temperatures as of 8 o'clock this morning, just above the freezing marker for most locations in the Permian Basin. Sub-freezing for those mountain areas, but again, with plenty of sunshine out there, temperatures warm up quickly. By about lunchtime, we'll be at the 60-degree marker, on our way up to the upper 60s by about 4 o'clock this afternoon, going for a high of 67 for the Midland-Odessa area. Combine that with plenty of sunshine and blue skies, and it'll be a nice day to get outdoors and enjoy the sunshine and the warm temperatures. And here are those numbers across the board. Mid to upper 60s across the Permian Basin, southeast New Mexico, upper 60s to near 70 along the Trans-Pecos. I wouldn't be surprised if Fort Stockton and Sanderson hit the 70-degree marker, and a cloudless sky all day long, and that'll continue overnight tonight. But the good news is that overnight lows will actually be above freezing across the entire Permian Basin. Trans-Pecos, only exception, Pecos, Marfa, and Van Horn will be right at that freezing marker. So still grab a jacket on your way out tomorrow morning, but throw it away by the afternoon because highs will be in the 70s on Friday afternoon. And we'll continue to see mid 70s in the forecast Saturday, Sunday, and really through the first half of next week. We'll also see mostly dry conditions, but we will also introduce slight rain chances on your Monday and Tuesday. Is it going to be a washout? Not by any means, but we'll keep you updated as we get closer to that potential event.
All right, Ethan, thank you very much. Let's turn now to your first alert on some park closures happening across the city of Odessa. Officials announcing today that Lawndale Park and Murray Fly are closed right now for turf repair. Those parks are expected to be reopened by tomorrow morning. Repairs will be done also at Crump Park and Salinas Park as well. Those repairs are planned for tomorrow. The city says both of those parks will reopen come Saturday morning. In education, some great news there. Ector County ISD inviting all of their 8th grade students to their 8th annual career fair, their grade fair, I should say, for high school. It's to help with their transition from junior high to high school. The 8th grade fair teaches students about the different programs, electives, and extracurricular activities available to them. The fair had over 100 booths students could visit. The goal is to help incoming freshmen and their families prepare to build a high school schedule.
So 8th graders are asked to choose a program or a course of study while they're in high school. And so we want to give them every opportunity to explore what their choices are and what they're choosing so that they know exactly what they will be doing in those classes or in those programs.
The fair even had a student mariachi band on hand. The robotics class drove around in some of their robots, and the early education teachers handed out robot babies. Now, Odessa College was also at the fair to talk about its dual credit program for high school students. It's the 4th year that this event has been held, and ECIC finds it to be very helpful for students getting ready for their first year of high school. Some great news in the community now. St. John's Episcopal School celebrating 70 years of serving students right here in Odessa.
And when our students leave St. John's, people love to get our students because of the respect that they have for others, for their community. And that's what we teach.
As part of the 70-year celebration, students buried a time capsule. The next generation of students will open the capsule on the school's 100th anniversary. For the latest news, log on anytime to our website, that is firstalert7.com. We also invite you to download the First Alert 7 mobile news and weather apps, both free in the Apple App Store and Google Play. Don't forget to catch First Alert 7 News at noon with Jacob Brandenburg and Ethan Yost a little bit later on. Make it a great Thursday. And that'll do it for Wake Up West Texas Extra. It was a great show.
It was very news heavy and also weather heavy. We have a lot of information out there, and people can go back and rewatch it if they miss any content as well.
You're very right about that. On demand anytime on YouTube, on Facebook as well. Ethan, good to have you with us. We'll have you again tomorrow for Wake Up West Texas.
That's right. Can't wait.
Yes, and Extra. So thank you so much for streaming with us. Make it a great Thursday.